History with the Royal Navy. Ordinary Cadet Brady, Nottingham Sequence. The objectives. By the end of the session, you'll be able to have a basic knowledge of the Royal Navy and should be able to remember three rememberable dates from the Royal Navy. So we begin at the start. 897 AD. King Alfred is credited as the founder of the Navy. In 897 AD, during a battle, King Alfred used his ships to defeat a force of Vikings that were raiding the south of England. In 1420, Henry V, the Grace de War, was a remarkable vessel of similar size to HMS Victory and is seen as the greatest medieval ship. A remarkable vessel of a similar size to HMS Victory, although with her tower and castles she looked very different. Launched in 1418, she was more than 200 feet long and had an estimated displacement of 2,750 tons. Henry VIII. Aware of the growing importance of naval power, Henry VIII built up his own standing fleet known as the Navy Royal. This enlarged fleet required a more developed administration, which eventually saw the establishment of the Navy Board. He grew the Navy Royal to over 40 ships. He built his navy as soon as he came to the throne due to the threats of Scotland up north and the French down south. It's a picture of Mary Rose. Watertight gun ports with hinges were also invented. These gun ports were flaps that covered holes in the side of the ship. These flaps would be opened in a battle so the cannon could poke out while they were fired. Warships now carried much heavier cannons on board, about 20 heavy and 60 light ones. The great cannon could now fire a broadside, which meant all guns along one side firing at the same time. Henry VIII, Mary Rose. The picture of the Mary Rose is below. The Mary Rose was King Henry VIII's prize warship. Even though it wasn't the biggest in the fleet, the admiral of the fleet, Edward Howard, picked it as his flagship. It was a matter of significance in the Battle of St. Matthew, where on the 10th of August 1512, 200 sailors, 185 soldiers and 30 gunners aboard. The Tudor warship Mary Rose sank in 1545 while leading the attack against the French invasion fleet in the south. Moving on to Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I inherited 26 ships but encouraged privateers/private ships to fight alongside her navy power. The navy grew again in Elizabeth's reign as France was becoming a bigger threat. 1588, a battle between Spain and England happened and resulted in the Armada. July to August 1588, Spanish Armada. The Spanish Armada set sail from Spain in July 1588 with the mission of overthrowing the Protestant Queen Elizabeth I and restoring Catholic rule over England. The Spanish Armada headed for the English Channel. However, were not going to attack England straight away. They were going to the Netherlands to pick up more Spanish troops. However, Sir Francis Drake and Charles Howard, the two admirals in charge of the attacks, set out to attack, splitting their ships up, and Drake sailed behind the Spanish. What happened at the end of the Armada? The English had the Spanish on the run. The Spanish could not sail the way back to Spain as it was blocked up, so they sailed up past Scotland and Ireland. However, they did not have Ireland's rocky island and coast on their chart, so when a storm hit, the Spanish were not prepared for it. They ended up hitting their ships on rocks, and many died with the ships being torn apart, while the Irish and English soldiers killed Spanish when they got to the Irish shore. Before 1660, when Britain went into a civil war on who should rule, and Charles I was executed, and Charles II was proclaimed King of Scotland, but not England, Wales or Ireland, even though his father was. This is because Oliver Cromwell abolished the monarchy, not the navy. Abolishing the monarchy meant getting rid of any royal family, and they formed the navy into the Commonwealth, and Charles was exiled into France. We're going back to Charles II, 1660. This is when he came into power. He formed the Navy Royal into what we know as the Royal Navy, and in 1664 he formed the Marines, how they were called the Duke of York and Albany's Maritime Regiment of Foot. Naval Formation. When Charles II took the throne, he renamed the Commonwealth Navy to the Royal Navy and put HMS, which stands for His Majesty's Ship or Her Majesty's Ship, before ships. But it stayed as a national institution, not the property of the monarchy. This is because the royal family was restored, so he put the royal in front of the family. In 1707, the Royal Scots Navy merged with the Royal Navy to make one big United Kingdom naval power. 1672-1802, the Royal Marines. The name Marines first appeared in records in 1672. The Duke of York and Albany's Maritime Regiment of Foot was formed into the Royal Marines in 1802. 1805. In 1805, Britain went into a battle against the Franco-Spanish fleet, and the British force was led by Admiral Horatio Nelson, and his flagship was HMS Victory. Even though Nelson was outshipped, he still managed to beat the Franco-Spanish fleet. After this, the French fleet never challenged the Royal Navy in a large-scale engagement. However, the British suffered a great loss as Admiral Nelson was killed by a French sharpshooter. He died aboard HMS Victory. HMS Victory was built in 1765 and is known as Admiral Nelson's flagship in the Battle of Trafalgar. Today, Victory is docked at Portsmouth and as flagship of the 2nd Sea Lot and Commander-in-Chief Naval Home Commanders, the oldest commissioned warship in the world. Moving on to 1861 and HMS Warrior. Ordered by the Royal Navy in 1859 in response to the French building of the Ironclad Claw, HMS Warrior was the first of its 40-gun steam-powered armoured frigate launched. She was the first armour-plated iron-hulled warship and almost twice the displacement of the wooden-hulled La Gloire. The design of HMS Warrior replaced the old wooden ships, and now HMS Warrior is docked in the Portsmouth Historical Dockyards near HMS Victory. A picture is below is HMS Warrior at Dockyards, Historical Dockyards. First World War. The First World War is the first and last time the Royal Navy used the dreadnought warships against anyone. The British Royal Navy took part in the Battle of Jutland and Battle of Falklands Island. The world's first aircraft carrier, HMS Argus, took part in World War I at Gallipoli in 1915. Also, the Germans never really threatened Britain's naval power again. Second World War. The Second World War showed allies and enemy countries how powerful the Royal Navy was. The Second World War was a major success for naval power, with the Royal Navy supporting land forces on several fronts, providing cover to the Pacific convoys and fighting in the Atlantic, Mediterranean and Pacific Ocean. So now we move on to 1945 and now. Since 1945 the Royal Navy has slimmed down, but the Falklands War in 1982 was a remarkable demonstration of the nation's maritime power production, retaking the islands from 8,000 miles from Britain. And as you can see, there's a picture of the Royal Marines and a picture of HMS Sheffield, which met the fate of being blown up. Now, the Royal Navy continues to play a vital role for the UK by providing a capable presence wherever it is in the world. So we have the new aircraft carriers, the Queen Elizabeth class, the Type 45 destroyers, the Type 23 frigates, the Vanguard and Astute class submarines, and the 4th class patrol ships. In the pictures here we have HMS Queen Elizabeth, HMS Dragon, a Type 23 submarine, and a class. Any questions? If any questions, please put them in the comments below.